Bonjour, Rory ici. Aujourd'hui, je vais vous montrer exactement comment vous pouvez utiliser le YouTube pour apprendre le français, comment je suis en train d'aider mes étudiants de faire de même. So today I'm just going to show you exactly how to use YouTube to learn French. Now, for you, you might be trying to use YouTube to learn French at the moment. You're watching videos like this to try and improve on learning French and then watching directly videos in French to try and improve, okay? Now that's what I did at the start when I learned French and it worked very well. It's working very well for my students also. I'm going to give you some tips on how to use it, the approach to have, and the thing is here as well, I really want to emphasize the importance of real conversational French. It's different to textbook French. It's different to grammar rules and grammar lessons and traditional methods of learning French. Learning French through real conversations, like the video I'm going to show you here, is the absolute best thing to do to improve your French level. But keep in mind that these videos here, I recommend it to each of my students that they only begin after they've built an intermediate level of reading and listening. Otherwise, it can be a bit daunting and difficult with the strange accents. They talk very fast. Sometimes they can talk in a weird intonation also. So keep that in mind. But if you need any help learning French, put a comment down below. I'm always happy to help. And if you want to sign up with me to apply to work with me one-on-one, I don't accept many students since I have limited time, but you can check that out in the description. Enjoy the video and have a great day. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to share screen here and we'll go straight into the video. This is just a video I've picked off their channel. So they've got hundreds of videos. Honestly, they're amazing. I watched them when I first started learning French back in 2020, and my students are using them as well to learn French. You can go through, you probably know the channel. They're extremely popular. They've got 800,000 subscribers. I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do, a couple of tips you can use, and what I would personally do to learn French with YouTube videos like this, so you can implement them and get progressing on your French. Leave in the comments if you've got absolutely any questions or experiences you've had with using French YouTube videos, any other online content for French, where you think you've had some success. Share it with others. We'd love to do that. So let's get started. I'll put it full screen. Actually, no, that's it.
Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire aujourd'hui? Là, je vais faire un brunch avec une copine à moi. Ensuite, on va faire un shooting. Et ce soir, j'ai un restaurant.
All right. So first thing is you'll notice very clearly that the way they speak on the street, this is real street French. It's much quicker. The tones are different to something you hear in a textbook, right? So we're having a look here. I'll replay this sentence here. That ensuite, on va faire un shooting et ce soir, j'ai un restaurant. All right. So I'm going to replay this if you listen carefully.
Copine à moi. Ensuite, on va faire un shooting. Et ce soir, j'ai un restaurant.
So we hear that really the emphasis on each of the words, it changes between different sentences. So this particular girl, right, when she speaks, if we replay this.
On va faire un shooting.
Shooting, right? So ensuite, on va faire, it's really quick. It's ensuite, on va faire un shooting. Et ce soir, j'ai un restaurant. So she put a big comma after shooting. I mean, technically you shouldn't do that, but this is street French, right? When I talk English, I don't talk the perfect grammatical English that you would hear in textbooks. It's a bit different. That's where these videos are amazing, because you're going to see the real French that you want to use. If you want to build up conversation level, videos like this, go and find others that you enjoy, use them to learn French. Let's keep moving through.
Et ce soir, j'ai un restaurant. Donc, deux restos dans la même journée, ça arrive souvent?
So here, quick little sentence, because we're on the street and it's more informal, when we're saying ça arrive souvent, yes, we could use it in a more formal sense, but a level above that would be est-ce que ça arrive souvent pour vous? But here, we're not talking to each other in a complete informal fashion, because these two girls have just met each other, right, on the street as for interview. But you're seeing that there's different forms they're going to use in the French in these conversations. Overall, the main point is the French that they're using here in these videos, it's amazing, because it's the French that you'll be using in a conversation. If you just met someone, even if you know someone well, you may have a family member who speaks French, you may have a good friend who speaks French as well, and you can use these kinds of French sentences, phrases to really have a good conversation. The thing is, the textbook French, with all my students, it's really good because for them, when they're at beginner level, they don't want to be watching videos like this because it's hard because they're bringing in slang, they're using weird intonations, as you saw in that sentence before with the je vais faire un shooting or on va faire un shooting, where the emphasis is strange. And then thirdly, you know, these videos here, they can be quite fast with the speaking. So keeping up with your ears is difficult, slowing it down a bit in something like a textbook where you can have the English translation there and you can go slowly, it's much better. But this is excellent once you're hitting intermediate level.
Ça peut arriver, mais après, souvent, non, mais j'aime bien me faire des restaurants. Ouais.
Okay, another point here in terms of a French sentence, because keep in mind as well, I'm using the English throughout the whole process. So I tell my students, use the French, but if there's something you don't understand, use the English without hesitation. Some people online, some French tutors, I'm not a French tutor, I call myself a French coach because for me, I don't walk you through every little grammatical thing with French. I like to build a plan with each of my students so they can implement and go out and not worry about the grammar, not worry about the spelling, just achieve their goals, not try and learn an academic French. But what I've noticed is lots of French tutors, they will they may be against, say, the usage of English because they say, oh, it's cheating or you shouldn't do it. That's what I thought at the start when I started learning French. I thought, oh, I don't want to use English. I should just learn from the French, right? If I do that, then I'm immersing myself fully. Yes, but what's the point in immersing yourself in something like French when you're learning? You can only understand 10, 20%. That's ridiculous. What you do is you use the English if you can find a sentence that's simple when you're beginning at beginner level. This is intermediate level, but if you're at beginner level, what you can do is you can have the French there, get it to a point where you can use the English and then understand 60, 70, 80%. That extra percent you can push through by even referring back to the English a second time, a third time, re-listening to a sentence. I found that's a good way to progress. Little thing here in the sentence as well is this sentence structure. It's an informal sentence. It's something you would not see in a textbook, likely. Okay. Mais j'aime bien me faire des restaurants. When we're saying me fait, like me faire quelque chose, when we're saying that, it's very informal. So another way, a way you might see this in a textbook sentence would be mais, how can we say that? Mais j'aime le restaurant. Or j'aime aller au restaurant. That's how we'd probably see it in a textbook. But here it's, mais j'aime bien me faire des restaurants. Because here, this is sort of a type of French where an academic who writes a grammar textbook wouldn't like this sentence. Often they overlook it. I've seen that. I've seen books where they don't bring in an informal French. They want you to learn the real grammatical French you would use to write essays, for example. But for you, if you just want to communicate well in French, don't stress about that, right? That's where you need to force yourself to bring in real life French, whether that's through videos like this, other resources where you can, even find a good phrase book. Me personally, I've found that, say, 90% of textbooks aren't that good because they don't have the French audio. If you can find a book where you have English translation with the French, and then you can find the French audio with that same book, like the book that I recommend, Assimil, Assimil, that's my favorite. And that's the one I recommend to all my students and help them use because you've got the French audio, you've got the English translation as well. It makes it much easier.
Ouais. Qu'est-ce que vous avez prévu de faire aujourd'hui?
Okay, so we're seeing here that we're on the street, but another point is they don't know each other that well because they just met. So that's why we're using the vouvoiement, right? So on peut se tutoyer. We can talk to each other by the tu et ta et ton. That's where we're being more informal when we know each other. So even if we're on the street, we would still use vous to address people.
Là, je vais aller bruncher avec mon frère. Voilà, à Olibellier, juste à côté là. Et après, on va faire des travaux chez lui. Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire aujourd'hui? Je vais au restaurant. Voilà. Avec des amis, de la famille. Un ami, oui. Oui. On va au restaurant, dans un bon restaurant. Ah, voilà. Lequel? Géosmine, qui est rue, la rue, quelle rue? C'est vers Oberkampf. Et ça.
Okay, another thing here. She's saying she's not sure which exact street that she's going to the restaurant at, but you can see there she's saying, je sais plus quelle rue. Technically, in grammatical French, you would say, je ne sais plus quelle rue. We would put the ne, right? Just in between the je ne sais. That's something where you need to immerse yourself in conversational French in order to be able to have good conversations. You don't want to be the guy or girl who starts to speak French, or even once he gets to an intermediate, advanced, even fluent level, and you're speaking a textbook French, and you feel good speaking French, but you don't feel really immersed in the conversation with the other person you're talking with, right? In order to get good at speaking French, imitate the French people. It's very simple. Imitate the French people, and via that, you're going to sound like them. Like for me, my accent, it's just a general French accent. It's simply because I watch videos like this, the Assamil book, the audio there, it's all general French. I've got friends. I got a friend in Morocco, France, Belgium, and all of them, they all speak it, different French accents. So I've got that kind of accent. I've sort of built that naturally. That's what you'll do by watching videos like this, okay? So this video here, wanted to show you this because then you can implement that when you're watching French videos. Check it out because I really want to emphasize for you the point of you want to be using conversations to learn French. You don't want to be using grammar rules because if you use grammar rules, you get good at grammar. If you want to get good at speaking, you got to immerse yourself with people you're going to be speaking with, okay? All right, now if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and have a great day. Bye.